To those of you unaware, 50 Cent is a huge troll in real life as well as online. He's one of the few rappers that's genuinely funny and someone who's actually pretty entertaining. Early on in the internet, he was someone that made his own website with funny videos and had comedians on there like Mr. Jack Thriller. This Is 50 was actually pretty cool, and it had some pretty funny and interesting clips from 50 himself, which was also nice to see.
Finals are here. Dwight and Kobe are the best of the best. Vitamin Water's right there with them. The best of the best drink, right here. What happened? Vitamin Water has the best customers. We'd like to thank them for their support.
Damn, man, you forgot Pippin. We here, Pippin. Yeah, we here, man. Come on, man.
It's Curtis Jackson again. You guys know, without a doubt, I promote Vitamin Water the best.
Vitamin Water!
None of those other guys would do that.
Shit. That wasn't part of the skit.
Now, other than 50 Cent being a phenom on the online interwebs, as well as being a genius investor in Vitamin Water, he's also extremely petty. 50 Cent wears this as a badge of honor. He does not shy away from the fact that he is petty. He is literally worse than a psycho ex-girlfriend when it comes to stalking you, learning your weaknesses, and then victimizing you. And in this video, I'd like to go through a couple of the most popular individuals who have been victimized by Mr. Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. Now, the first victim would have to be Officer Ricky, Mr. Rick Ross. He's someone who I made an entire video on in the past. And it's actually pretty interesting because 50 Cent doesn't like Rick Ross initially because of affiliation. If you're not aware, back in ye old day of 2007, 2008, there was a whole roster of different rappers that would participate with DJ Khaled, talking about T-Pain, T.I., Rick Ross, Fat Joe, and the list goes on. Now, 50 Cent, for whatever reason, didn't really like Fat Joe because of his affiliation with Ja Rule, another person 50 Cent dislikes. We'll get to that later. Now, Rick Ross falls into the equation even more so, and what made 50 Cent really get petty is because during an interview, as 50 Cent describes it, Rick Ross had dropped 50 Cent's name at the BET Hip Hop Awards.
What was interesting is she asked him like where this shit came from, or like what he said.
We got Rick Ross on the line. What's up, Ross?
What's up, B?
Shit came out of the clear blue sky to me. I didn't know what the fuck the nigga was talking about when I heard it. And then what he said was so whack that I didn't even know if the nigga was meant it or he was like, you know what I mean, some sideways shit. So anyway, she asked him where it came from, and he said from the BET Awards. Now, I ain't never had a conversation with these niggas. I don't know these niggas. I know your name, I seen your video. Other than that, we ain't got no business together. We ain't got no reason to even be talking to each other, right? So niggas think that it's an opportunity to create energy or like a excitement for the actual release of their record. And I understand that it may be more attention than you usually get, but it'll be the kind of attention that when it goes away, you go away completely. Like there's nothing else left for your ass. You complete it. Done.
Now, you would think that something like this wouldn't be a big deal, but 50 Cent made it a big deal. He would then go on to shoot a video for ThisIs50.com, basically saying that Rick Ross is a fraud, someone he's never met, someone he does not affiliate with, and then he goes even further to start expose his past, as well as revealing that Mr. Ross used to be a correctional officer, as opposed to someone being a hustler in the streets.
For fun. There's a few times. This is not new. I do this all the time. I had a list of niggas that fucked up. I'ma fuck your shit up. You know what I mean? Because I know, I can already see from here, from where I'm at, that this nigga's a total fraud. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even no issue. But I paid for the transcripts to your court case. Just in case. I really didn't want to know the court, that actual family court shit. I really wanted your address. You see me at the BET Award, you see me by myself. Everybody at the BET Award saw me. I don't even remember seeing this nigga. This the illest shit is, I don't even remember like in passing. Like you so unimportant that I don't even remember walking past the nigga or anything. Shit is crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna fuck your shit up. Now I know you. Know so much new information about you that I think it's fair to say I know you now. And everybody else will know you real soon.
Now, following this initial beef, 50 Cent would go on to continue to clown Rick Ross in interviews. Rick Ross would do the same, and eventually Rick Ross got to the point of doing an album rollout and dropping a 50 Cent diss song. Now, this diss song was something that wasn't necessarily too popular, it wasn't too large, but it was something that hit the radar and got a little bit of popularity, and 50 Cent says himself that Ross used his name in order to garner popularity and basically have a successful album rollout. Now, in response to this, 50 Cent would then go on to create his own rap song, Officer Ricky, basically making fun of Rick Ross, saying that he's a correctional facility officer and that his word has no merit.
Must have thought he knocked me out like Kimbo. Begun to read lips, breath stronger than Indo. Fat fuck playing we fit Nintendo. Have another tattoo, here's another tattoo. Run into my goons soon, have new bullet wounds. Officer Ricky, radio for backup. See your ass anyway, you know I'm gonna act up. You wanna play with me when I don't wanna play? Have my niggas whip the skin off your ass in broad day? Screaming boss, nigga, you ain't a boss. Pussy nigga, you lost. Listen, officer boss. I tell you straight, suck a dick, try and come subliminal. Cause you asked the police, my niggas is criminals. Like every other word out your mouth's about a verb. Like you sling cocaine, this shit is absurd. Use a rapper, use a motherfucking rapper. It's a rap, your career's fucking rap.
Now, after these two rappers dropped the diss track, they would continue to banter back and forth on and on online, as well as in interviews, basically saying they didn't like each other, saying the other was a fraud, and going down the usual list of disrespect. But now, we get to the point in time where 50 Cent essentially becomes the Joker.
I'm deciding to fuck your life up. Rick, I'm gonna fuck your life up.
Goes full Vietnam, shock and awe, and goes down a route that is so diabolical that me saying it still shocks me to this day years later. 50 Cent would purposely get into a relationship with Rick Ross's ex-baby mother. This is someone who is the mother to his children. 50 Cent would purposely publicize this relationship in order to get back at Ross, and in the sickest twist and most disgusting manner of violation, 50 Cent would actually film a video of him going to Las Vegas to visit Floyd Mayweather, and along with him came Rick Ross's ex-wife as well as her kids, and 50 Cent would actually bully Rick Ross's kids.
You see that? That's not enough, right? That's not what you said? It's not, that's that. No, that's not more than your dad.
I'm not telling you that. I don't know.
It's necessary though. Give me my money, you little traitor. I thought you was down with me. He got more because we in the house. He taught you to say that.
20,000. It's Floyd's spot. We in Vegas doing real big. I got the boys with me. Say hi, man. Say hi.
Sup?
What's up? So we gonna tell you.
What's up?
This is 50.com.
It ain't nothing.
It ain't nothing. We doing big, it ain't nothing.
As if making fun of Rick Ross's ex-wife and bullying his kids was not enough, 50 Cent would actually take this a step further by obtaining a copy of another ex of Rick Ross's adult film, and not only publicizing this adult film, but he would actually add color commentary by dressing up as a pimp character, dubbing it, and making fun of Rick Ross's ex-wife in this video. Now, this is a level of jokerdom that I don't think even the Joker would cross. This is insane, this is crazy, and this actually is where 50 Cent flew a little bit too close to the sun, because by doing this, he actually shook the bee's nest. And what ended up happening is that Rick Ross's ex-wife, who was now being publicized and is now being known for this tape, ended up suing 50 Cent for publicizing it and for defaming her. She ended up winning this case, but thankfully, some way, somehow, 50 Cent found a way to weasel out of those payments by declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy, basically saying, I can't give you all this money, you might have won a judgment, but right now I am broke. And when the judge asked 50 Cent, how are you broke when you are literally putting money all over the place, including your house and your clothes, 50 Cent actually had this to say.
And then you irritated the judge in the case because you started posting all these pictures of you that seem to indicate that you have a ton of money You put up this picture right here of you eating a money sandwich.
Yeah.
You put this picture up of you opening your fridge and just finding money inside. You put up this picture, these are yours, of your coffee table, which is made of money. Then you put this picture up right here, which says you're broke, spelled in money. If that's the situation, why put all that?
All of that's over with now, Coney. That's over.
Okay, all right.
So it seems like 50 Cent basically pushed this story to the limit. He got to the point where Rick Ross had basically just stopped interfering with 50 Cent. I mean, they still probably hate each other, and there's probably still a level of distaste, but in this day and age, you usually don't see many posts about Rick Ross and 50 Cent, and for the most part, they've stopped talking to each other and talking about each other, which is a good sign considering that I don't know what the next level in the warfare this would be, but I really don't want to see it. So thankfully, it seems like that is the end of that chapter, and 50 Cent versus Rick Ross definitely ended with 50 Cent being the victor and Mr. Ross being violated. Now, the next victim of 50 Cent is an odd one because they first were friends. That would be Mr. Floyd Mayweather, the world-renowned boxer. He's now retired and is a coach. And for some reason, 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather ended up on the wrong side of friendship and ended up becoming enemies as opposed to friends. It never really was super clear as to why Floyd Mayweather ended up hating 50 Cent. But granted, 50 Cent is someone who likes to troll a lot. So I can understand if you were even friends with him, you might end up getting sick of him, because 50 Cent actually explains their first altercation and the reason why there was some dislike with this excerpt from his Instagram.
Woke up, I look at the computer say, Floyd said, fuck T.I., fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what did he say fuck me for? Nelly fucked your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fucking fiance. Say fuck that nigga.
So when responding to Floyd Mayweather and asking why are you mad at me, 50 Cent then rubbed salt in the wound by saying that Floyd Mayweather has been clowned on by many other people, and that he shouldn't be mad at 50 because what he said isn't even that flagrant. Now, 50 Cent continues his mockery of Floyd Mayweather, where he would make fun of him for not being able to read. Eventually, there would be some audio that leaked from the Breakfast Club that showed Floyd Mayweather having difficulty reading. It's a very weird situation where you have a billion and millions of dollars, but some way, somehow can't read Cat in the Hat. Now, this is something that 50 Cent would take and continue to make fun of Floyd for, and eventually it would get to the point where 50 Cent says that I will challenge you, Floyd, to read excerpts from a book, and I'll go ahead and donate a lot of money if you can do that.
This is a special ASLELS challenge for you, Floyd. If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to. Fuck the bucket of ice, man.
So 50 Cent throws out the challenge saying that if you can read a page of a Harry Potter book, I'll go ahead and donate some money. But 50 Cent isn't all that bad, and he's not all that evil, because eventually he comes back and says, hey Floyd, you know what, that last challenge might have been a bit childish, it might have been a bit rude, let's actually update it to make it a little bit more fair for everyone.
I got a phone call from my man Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy said if Floyd accepts the challenge, then he'll put it on the actual show, so you can read it on the show. We don't want to put pressure on you. We know you can't pronounce those words in that Harry Potter book, so we're going to let you read Cat in the Hat.
So 50 Cent basically doubles down by saying, Floyd, you're an idiot, you can't read, you might have a Billy, but you cannot go to the library and take out a book, you are a dumb dummy, and he continues to make fun of Floyd and continues to troll him, and at the same time, it seems to me like as time goes on, people just end up going back to 50 Cent and being somewhat friendly, or at least not enemies. So it seems like it's a weird friendship phase where just by knowing 50 Cent, you need to get clowned at some point. And depending on whether or not 50's in a bad mood, that clowning might be extreme, such as the case of Floyd Mayweather, or it might be a little bit less extreme. But that's pretty much the extent of 50 Cent's beef with Floyd Mayweather. Granted, Floyd looked a little bit silly, he looked a little bit crazy, but the violation was not as bad as Rick Ross. And I would also say that this was not as personal as the next victim of 50 Cent. Now, this might sound odd, but the next person that 50 Cent has very personal beef with would be his own biological son. Now, this is not his youngest son. His youngest son is prominently featured on his Instagram. He seems like he's very happy with him. He's a good father. Bro shut down Toys R Us just to have him have a daddy toy day. That's pretty lit. But his older son, Marquise, is someone that 50 Cent flagrantly said, I hate my son, because he seemed to be someone who talked out of turn, was very disrespectful, and it seemed like it was a tipping point when Marquise ended up taking a picture with someone who 50 Cent had legitimate beef with.
Between you and your son. Because a lot of people from the outside, the boy looked just like you.
That's
A lot of people from the outside think that situation is sad, man, that y'all can't come
yeah,
to something.
it is sad. It's a sad situation, right? And when you pray for success, you don't necessarily pray for the things that come with it, right? And there's no such thing as success without jealousy, without envy, or entitlement. And entitlement is growing in someone you love, in the scariest part, right? And his mom developed an entitlement that cannot be met. Filtering that energy through his actual personal interests. Let's say now that he's starting to like females, he's conscious of what kind of shoes he want to wear. I need these Jordans, the retro Jordans is coming, different things. And then his mother go, all right, I'll get them for you, but it just bothers me because you're supposed to have them all. So while being a privileged child, he feels deprived. When you had everything I didn't have. Because I blamed it on his mom for a long time. But it's not his mother, it's him. Like, I've gone places where he was at, he left.
Fifth, you love your son?
I used to. You ask yourself how long, a complicated question would say, how long can you love something that don't love you back? You see, so in this experience, you look and you say, I didn't think success would cost me my firstborn, but it's the situation it is. What he keeps saying is every time you see the boy, he's show up with somebody you got a problem with. What does that day? People will always try to make relationships on a common bond of disliking someone. Like, be friends with you because your enemy is my enemy.
Yeah.
And he sees himself that way. To the extent where he's actually taking pictures with Preem's son or doing different things that, and you go, well, I'm like, I don't even understand where your motivation comes from with these things, but.
So from this dialogue, what ends up happening is that there's a public bashing of 50 Cent and his son against 50 Cent, where they try to have an out-petty competition. But unfortunately for his son, 50 Cent is a lot more well-versed when it comes to being petty, as well as having the microphone and speaking to the masses. The most that his son Marquise said is that his dad was a deadbeat and he never took care of him. And as strong as that argument could have been, his son actually blew it up and fumbled the bag when it comes to the court of public opinion, because on an Instagram live interview discussion, Marquise would go on to say that his dad is a deadbeat, he's someone who didn't provide for him, and then he says that he only got a certain amount from his dad when it comes to child support payments.
I know what it feels like to have nothing, all right? And I had to rebuild my life over with $6,700 a month.
Marquise, I know you feel like that ain't a lot of money, but it's a lot of people here watching right now.
It's
girls that's getting $200
$81,000
a month child.
$600-700 a month in the state of New York City. You do the math.
Oh, I done the math. I've been in child support, bro. I went to jail for it. And if he's contributing $6,700, that means your mom's got the other half. It ain't just for him to just take care of you. She got to take care of you.
If I told you right now, right, you got to start your life over right now with $6,700 a month and rebuild your life.
Yes.
Can you do it?
With $6,700, I can.
You have nothing.
$6,700, yes, I can. I'm from the
I'm
from Edo, but $6,700, I'm good.
That's what I'm
month,
saying.
nigga.
And just like that, 50 Cent's son lost a lot of support from the public just because of the fact that he came off as a rich kid who was crying, saying that his dad only gave him several $1,000s a month on top of being able to work and on top of his other parent potentially giving him even more money. And it kind of just made him sound like a spoiled kid and someone who wasn't in touch with reality. And it's actually pretty funny because, as you heard, that interview was saying, hey, Marquise, I know you're mad, I know you're upset, but that's a lot of money to a lot of people out there, and you are losing support by the second by saying it was only this much money. Now, that's pretty much where that beef fizzles out. For the most part, I think that 50 Cent and his son still have a lot of bad blood. There was really no real reconciliation. I'm sure at some point there might be some way that they could get back together like Joe Budden and his son, but I think that's going to actually take a little bit of give and take, and I don't know if 50 Cent's genes would allow him to do that, because he's not exactly known for dropping beefs, and he's not exactly known for forgiving beefs. And in this next victim of 50 Cent, you'll actually see that 50 Cent is so petty that he will keep a beef alive and well long after the other party has given up or even talked about it. And it's honestly probably one of the longest running beefs in New York history. The next victim of 50 Cent would have to be the most iconic as well as long-running beef that is between 50 Cent and any other party, and that person would be Ja Rule. When it comes to Ja Rule versus 50 Cent, there's not many beefs that parallel it. When it comes to the chronological order of events, there's a lot of different ebbs and flows, and it starts off as a traditional beef, then it cools down, and then it turns into a bullying match between 50 Cent and Ja Rule, where Ja Rule exclaims 50 Cent is obsessed with me and just won't drop it. So what ends up starting off between 50 Cent and Ja Rule is the typical rap beef. Someone who's signed to a different label, someone who is in the same city, someone who's dropping an album the similar same time as them. Their competition, there's someone they don't like, there's someone that they go up against. Now, eventually, what is very, very unfortunate for Ja Rule is that Ja Rule ends up dissing 50 Cent as well as Eminem. Now, this is where Ja Rule gets stomped in and immortalized as taking a iconic L, because not only does 50 Cent drop 3 different diss songs, Eminem himself also dresses Ja Rule, and it's one of the most popular reoccurring music pieces I've seen online, and it kind of immortalizes this moment where Ja Rule just bit off way more than he could chew. After this point, a lot of the disrespect and a lot of the dissing continued to come from 50 Cent. It really became a one-way argument where Ja Rule just simply existed and 50 Cent repeatedly trolled him. And this would actually get out of hand in 2017 when Ja Rule's ego as well as respect and reputation would take a huge hit after being involved with the Fyre Festival. Now, if you're not aware, the Fyre Festival was allegedly supposed to be this getaway trip, kind of like Coachella or Burning Man, where a bunch of rich white kids would go to an island, they would have exclusive food, exclusive drinks, have access to celebrities, they would relax with all these different elite individuals, and have concerts come out of it. Now, what ended up happening during that festival is that most people got grilled cheese sandwiches and ended up living in a tent, and unfortunately there wasn't many celebrities, and because Ja Rule was tied to this, 50 Cent had a fun time making fun of the festival and saying that this is what Ja Rule does best. He lives in failure. He's someone who continues to fail, and anything he touches is destined to fail. And as if 50 Cent's constant pestering of Ja Rule was not enough already, 50 Cent then decides to troll Ja Rule personally by buying 200 tickets to a show he was attending and not showing up with anyone, just basically having an empty front row seat in order to say to Ja Rule, here you go, enjoy the show, there's no people out front. And this is something that probably hurt his ego. It probably made him say, what the heck is going on here? Why is there empty seats in front row? And even worse, 50 Cent then publicized it. He made news out of it. Articles took it and said, look, 50 Cent is still bullying Ja Rule and it's as entertaining as always, and continue to spread this narrative. Now, since this happened, there hasn't been much news to come out between 50 Cent and Ja Rule. The last thing that I saw personally is that Ja Rule decided to do some type of weird Greek gyro commercial.
Pop Christo's got the best motherfucking gyros you ever ate in your life. So good. Take one, think to you got to have Peters. Pop Christo Peters.
And not surprisingly, 50 Cent took that, used it as a weapon against him to say that Ja Rule is washed up broke and he needs to do gyro commercials in order to pay the rent, which honestly, 50 Cent at this point in time has been trolling and disrespecting Ja Rule for going on 2.5 decades, almost 3. And at this point in time, it's become a system and issue where Ja Rule is not only a victim of 50 Cent, but he is now a case study in psychology of what can happen to a man that has been abused over and over throughout the years, to the point it makes you wonder, does 50 Cent ever get tired of making fun of people? Does 50 Cent ever run out of pettiness? And honestly, I gotta say the answer is no, because when it comes to 50 Cent and him disrespecting other people, other organizations, or other rappers, he has no problem with doing it. He gets energy from trolling and making fun of people, and unfortunately it's led to a lot of people being victimized by 50 Cent, some worse than others. But throughout all the different sagas that I've seen with 50 Cent, throughout all the different stories, they've all been entertaining. 50 Cent has always tried to be at least funny when it comes to this beef, especially when it comes to the internet era. And it's something that you appreciate, it's something that you aspire to be. And at the same time, it's a lesson to never ever get on the wrong side of 50 Cent, because you don't know how long this man will be petty for. And you might just end up being at your own funeral having 50 Cent making fun of you as they lower you down into the ground one last time. Wow, as if 50 Cent didn't have enough people he hated. As I'm recording this video, as I'm editing it, a new enemy of 50 Cent has appeared. Now, this is a new enemy that was always an enemy, and that is Sean Puffy Combs, aka P. Diddy. 50 Cent, a long time ago, just said he didn't like P. Diddy. He felt like he was a little sus. He came off a little weird.
Mr. Lee,
Yeah, I love this drink.
Where you put my
Chance with you.
bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
where you put my bag?
Daddy,
at,
I like
Mr.
when
Lee?
you
Oh,
when
it's
you
right here,
scrambling
it's
and
right here.
scraping
No,
for shit.
No, I got
I
notes
like
and
that.
shit. You know, I'll be practicing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he said something fabulous, and he goes, "Yo, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party."
No, but me and you ain't never really party. You know what I'm saying?
What is he talking about? What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff that when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of no, dude, you take me. That's what a guy says to a girl. Don't make like it's just me, man. Puffy do some like a little fluffy stuff.
Now you guys
on.
are all in.
And that he had basically had a distaste for Diddy, and as a result, as most rappers respond, Diddy was upset. He said 50 Cent was jealous. He said he's a loser. The same old, not much was said. But as years went on, 50 Cent would continue to nag and say that Puff was a little bit sus, a little zesty. And it would not be until recently that 50 Cent would get his magnum opus, his moment to shine, to really put on that troll vest. And he basically got the opportunity to see that P. Diddy was now being accused of being a freak, of being someone who is basically taking advantage of several women, and eventually, through a recent court case and a statement by an individual, men basically forcing individuals into zesty acts in order to get his freak off. And 50 Cent cannot be happier. And the moment that 50 saw this, he immediately said that he needs to work on a new docuseries called Did He Do It or Did He Not? Did He Done? Did He Done Did It? He's the diddler. Anything you can imagine with the word did in it, 50 was on it. And shortly after this, it would get worse for P. Diddy and even better for 50 Cent, because the feds decided to raid P. Diddy's house in order to arrest him on charges that were actualized. He was actually being brought up on a FRICO charge. And in response to this, P. Diddy got on a private jet, flew away, and left his kids to face the law all by themselves. And 50 Cent just had a heyday. He was so happy to see the new court documents. He was so happy to see the new information. And he actually found out that his ex-wife, who he shares a child with, was one of Diddy's exploits, that basically she was someone that was part of this whole charade, and she was actually mentioned in the court documents. And to this, of course, 50 Cent mentions that she is a dirty, nasty worker. She's one of Puff's henchmen. She's one of those individuals that were named in the case, and that he wants complete and utter control over his son because she's not a fit mother, because she was out there with Brother Love. I don't know how 50 Cent makes wars with all these people, and then shortly after making a war with them, they start to crumble, collapse, and eventually just dilapidate. And at every single turn, 50 Cent is there, and he's as hateful as he ever was. 7 years ago, 50 Cent was on the Breakfast Club saying that this guy, P. Diddy, was too zesty, too sus, too weird, and he's kept that same energy for 7 years, never faltering, never wavering. That is penultimate A1 hater energy right there. 50 Cent is a generational hater and generational troll, and I will be glued to my Instagram waiting for the next updates in the 50 Cent hate saga.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. You know, call it something like the question of the day. And really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!